What's going on, everybody? My name is Jason and I make posters. For all of my fellow shoegazers out there, I am deeply, truly sorry that I did not upload a video on Shoegaze Saturday.
I must apologize.
This past weekend was absolutely crazy with my crazy family, and by the time I got around to realizing it, it was Sunday afternoon. Huge fail on my part. Anyway, so to make up for it, I'm just gonna make this video. So there's all kinds of great shoegaze bands out there. My Bloody Valentine, Slowdive, Ride, all kinds of great bands. But I wanted to make a video highlighting a band that you've probably never heard of. And that band is Purplish from Spencer, Iowa. So here is the Purplish Bandcamp page, and this is the home page right here. If you go up here to music and go to End of Days, this album is awesome. And it's 23 fantastic songs of just pure shoegaze heaven. And I love the song titles here. SNES controller in my hands and playing my favorite games. I mean, what a fantastic song title that is. Anyway, so I saw this poster on Pinterest and I thought it would be really cool to do shades of purple here instead of this rainbow, and also to make a few changes to better suit the album. Alright, so let's jump into Illustrator and get started. Alright, so as you can see, I've dragged and dropped this poster into Illustrator, so I'm going to make this a little bit larger. And the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to just lay down the black background. It helps me to just kind of work backwards to frontwards. I do like that margin right there, so we'll set a margin of about 1/2 inch. And by the way, the document size on this is 18 by 24. That's the most common size that I use. Sometimes I go a little bit different, 18 by 27, but it just depends on what I'm designing for. Alright, so I've got the album cover itself on here. So what I'm going to do, the poster that we're using for inspiration has 5 color bars. So we're going to do the same thing here, and we're just going to do 5 different shades of purple. And there are all kinds of different tools that you can use to extract colors out of an image, but I'm just going to do it manually. And I really like when it gets into like this bluish purple right here. It gives it a very electric kind of look. All right, so I'm just going to rearrange these slightly. There we go. So I like that order right there. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make sure that there's no space between these, but pull up my align panel, go, and let's go over here, and we'll attach it right up there to the top right. I'm gonna go ahead and group them together. All right, so what we need to do before we figure out exactly the placement of those boxes is we need to get our text down and see exactly where it's gonna fall. Thanks to Will Patterson's video that he uploaded yesterday, I was able to grab this font Human Sans, and I wanna give it a shot because I've never actually used it before. So I'm gonna use purple text instead of white text because it's purplish. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and kern this. And then now that I know I'm not going to be changing that text anymore, let me go ahead and duplicate this, put it right there. Now we can create outlines, and I'm going to align it to the top left, and we can actually go all the way to the top right here and make it actually bleed off the edge of that black background. I think that would actually look pretty cool. And then what I think we'll do here with the white background is I will actually make this a not white margin, but that color right there. That's actually looking pretty cool. Although I may change it. That way it's not flowing from the top right edge to the background itself. It just looks better that way. And that's actually really cool right there. But I'm gonna leave it to the light purple, just to give it a little bit of extra contrast. Okay, so I've got the placement, and now I'm going to grab the bottom point of these anchor points. Let me lock those right there, and we'll just drag these all the way down. All right, what we're gonna do here is do something a little different from the poster. So I'm going to duplicate these down here, ungroup them, and we're gonna make them the same height as the width. We're gonna do the same thing with all of them here. I actually had the idea of rounding all of these, and I think they look really cool that way, so we'll just do that. And then as far as spacing goes, we'll just kind of do like, you know, maybe like a 1/2 inch to 1 inch, something like that. And then of course we'll also do some variants here. Anyway, I'm just gonna play around with this. All right, so that's looking cool. We got a good amount of variance going on there. The name of this album is called End of Days. I really like that deep purple right there, especially against that black background. It's looking really nice. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is just go in and copy all of the song titles, drop it into Sublime, and then I'm just gonna strip out all of the information here that I don't want. So now what I'm doing is I am setting my box to the size that I want my text box to be, and then we'll drop all of the text in there. So I want to get about 1/2 inch here around everything, and then we can go all the way down to the bottom and then just back it off by 1/2 inch down there. Since a lot of these song titles are long, that's going to really help us out there. Okay, so I got everything dropped in, and now we will change that to purple, align this to this side, and then we can just go in here and format. So I like the idea of having everything on one line, but I just don't think that it's feasible with these long song titles like this. So we're gonna turn off hyphenate, and let's see here. Falling Asleep to Music with the Windows Open. What a great song title. So I like the idea of just kind of opening up the text a little bit right there, because typically in print, like in posters and on books and everything, you've got a good amount of space in between each line and everything, but usually something with web or something like that, a little bit more modern typography, they kind of open up the space a little bit more. So I wanted to do something that was kind of like that, especially considering the long song titles. So then we'll just plop the release date down here. And beyond that, there's not really too much more information that I can really include here. I wish there were. Our inspiration poster doesn't have a whole lot to begin with anyway. There's a lot of negative space down here. So I really think that we are totally fine with doing something like this. And now that I'm looking at this, I think I am going to make those two the same color. There's just something about it that's irking me, and I don't know what it is, but I know that if I go to the same color, then it won't irk me anymore. Just needed to move it a touch over a little bit. All right, so now let's copy and move everything over into Photoshop and apply some effects to it. And we don't need to go crazy with anything. I'm just gonna do one of these photocopy textures and probably just call it done. Go a little bit to the edge right there, just to make sure it covers everything. Oh, that's cool. I like the lighting right there. I'll probably stick with that, although screen is looking really cool too. So let's see here. That is really, really cool. Okay, so here's my Purplish end of days poster. I don't think I'm gonna add any grain to this simply because I add grain to everything, so I wanted to do something a little bit different where I don't add grain to anything. And also looking at this, I just realized all of these lines end at exactly the same point. I would probably go back in and change that just to make it a little bit more visually interesting, but I think it's fine. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed watching me make that Purplish poster. That was fun, a little bit of a change up from what I typically do. If you haven't listened to Purplish, I highly recommend them. Go over and check them out on Bandcamp. As far as I know, that's the only place you can listen to them. But really good stuff, especially if you're into shoegaze. And if you're not into shoegaze, then you should get into shoegaze. Trust me, we're all completely normal people. Thanks a lot for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe and click the bell for notifications to be notified of all new content. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.